This is CG Smitty, Block Boy Official.
Yo, this is Bobby Vuelo coming out of One Unit, Control Substance and Attitude Era. Ash.
B-Man.
Well, it's your boy T-Bear. I'm live right here.
And you tune in to G.F.G TV. You heard?
And you watching G.F.G TV.
You tuned in to G.F.G TV. Come on, let's go.
We tune in to G.F.G TV.
G.F.G TV. In your face, man. In your face.
West YouTube, this your boy Big Ray West. You tuned in to GFG TV.
Rocking with your boy, Mr. Never Underestimate Fake Friends, TS3. Rocking with GFG TV. Shout out to my guy Big Ray West in the game.
This is gonna be good. I'm excited.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you know. Hold up. I don't know if you know. This is a blast from my past. This is an original GFG member.
No, see, I didn't even know that.
Okay.
See, out of all the stuff that we've been through, I've kind of tracked who you've said's been a member, but I've never. And I've known TS3 through the battle scene for what, like 4 or 5 years now.
About 5, 6 years.
Yeah,
It's
5,
gonna
6
be
maybe.
good.
Yeah, shit, it's been that long now.
Yeah.
Damn. So, first off, thank you for sitting down with us here at GFT TV.
Thanks for having me, man.
Appreciate you, man. Kick it off. What's your name? Where you from, man?
TS3. I was born here in Des Moines, raised in Chicago. Back and forth my whole life, basically. So, claim both of them.
Nice. So, what's it like? What's the varying differences like from Des Moines to here, or to Chicago? Sorry.
Des Moines is just slower to me. Like, there's always something to do in the city. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could be 2 o'clock in the morning. You want to go get something to eat. You know, there's mom and pop store open. Something. Everybody's out. You know what I'm saying, so like 2 o'clock in the morning still looks like 6 o'clock p.m. Whereas here, 10 o'clock p.m. everything shut down. Definitely after COVID. Like, you can't even go to McDonald's at 11 o'clock anymore.
Yeah. So talk about growing up. You said you were in both places.
Yeah.
So did you do school in both places? Did you go?
Yeah, I went to school here and in Chicago. Yep.
So where'd you go to school here?
Well, I went to McKee for like half a school year. Went to Roosevelt for like.
What grades did you go to McKee?
Oh, shit. Now you talking about history. I think I was in like fucking fifth grade? Fifth grade when I went to McKee? Yeah, something like 5th grade. Then I went back, because then I went to Wilkins in Chicago for middle school. And then Argo for high school. Then I came down here and went to Roosevelt for like half a semester and wrestled down here and shit.
What grades did you go to Roosevelt?
My sophomore year.
Sophomore.
Yep, sophomore year I was down here.
So sports wise, then you're a wrestler.
Yeah, I wrestled. I was
Okay.
a 135 varsity. I was a little guy.
Nice. So did you wrestle from when you were little, or is that something you came up on when you got a little bit older?
No, I started wrestling when I was like, I was like 11 when I started wrestling, doing like little tournaments and freestyle tournaments.
Okay.
Who was the wrestling coach at Roosevelt when you wrestled?
Coach Groff.
Coach Groff.
And what was his name? Blacksmith or something. He was a science teacher. He was Coach Groff, and that was his assistant.
Okay.
So you said freestyle. You did like folk stuff for school, but did you do actual freestyle tournaments?
No. I just like during the summertime they'd have like freestyle tournaments, like open invites. It wasn't no like high up regional shit, but it was just to keep me in shape during the off season.
Okay. For the Blue Greco style.
Yep.
That's dope. I lived in Vegas for a little while, and during high school times, and they had straight up, they had Greco-Roman, so they're just the upper body,
Yeah,
not
I know
full
Greco.
style,
Yeah,
like-
I've never really got into that Greco stuff.
Yeah, and that was what they did for high school. There.
Yeah, Greco was the all upper body and
Yeah, no shots, no nothing.
no.
It's just all clinch work and tosses and stuff like that.
See, I'm more of a single leg guy. Like I'll shoot a single leg, double leg, something like that.
Yeah, perimeter shots and stuff like that. Penetration shots. Yeah, they don't do any of that for them. There's a little little weird. And I know that New York's a little bit different too. I know they're pretty big on their wrestling up there, but I don't know if they do folk during high school or if they do some variation of freestyle as well.
I've never even been to the East Coast.
Yeah.
I'm a Midwest baby.
Just for the wrestling game, the Jersey and New York from over there, and then I don't really know West Coast too much. Arizona, I think, does a lot of the wrestling in them, but not every state even participates in that for school, which is something wild coming from Midwest. It's pretty traditional here. What did your parents do for a living?
My dad, he's always been in the factory. Like, he worked at Montfort when they had Montfort here, Titan Tires. I think he's still at Titan Tires, honestly. He's like a super high up supervisor or some shit.
What's your dad's name?
Thomas Wright. They call him Tommy. He started the Hunter Rider Motorcycle Club. He was the vice president. My uncle was the president of the Hunter Riders. My mom, she's always been, like, growing up, she's just bartending, restaurant, just doing what she had to do to put food on the table.
So, what brought your family to Des Moines? Were you from Chicago?
I was born here.
Born here?
I was born here.
Okay.
And then my mom and dad got a divorce when I was like 3, 4, something like that. My mom moved to Chicago, and I went with her, and my dad stayed down here.
Okay. What about brothers or sisters?
I got a lot of brothers and 2 sisters. I got like 4 brothers, 2 sisters. I got 6 siblings.
Did y'all all in the same house growing up? Between the two?
No, not really. I got one brother that would come up, like, we had the same mom, same dad, so we grow up together or whatever, back and forth sometimes. Mm-hmm. But other than that, like, I got stepbrothers and kids from different marriages and stuff.
Yeah. Around the same age?
I am the second oldest. My sister's older than me, and then my younger siblings are about 31, around that age. My youngest sibling is 25 now.
Mm-hmm. So we kind of went through your schools that you had there from Chicago and in Des Moines, but when you're finishing up through high school, that was here? No.
Well, I got my GED because I ended up getting expelled from Roosevelt. And then some shit happened and I had to go back to Chicago and just was like, fuck school. I was in the streets. So then my aunt got a hold of me, was like, look, you need to get on the right track, come down here and get your GED.
Can you talk about a time that you got in trouble in middle school?
Middle school?
Like a memorable time, maybe some big trouble or something.
Middle school, not so much. I didn't really start getting into trouble until I got into like high school. That's when I started really actually getting caught for stuff. I wouldn't say getting in trouble. I just never got caught until like high school.
What are some things you got caught for in high school?
Oh shit.
Like some of the first things.
Some little things?
Yeah, some of the first things.
Like, I stole a bottle. Like, that's back when Walmart didn't have, like, the cameras and shit all over the place. We used to go in there and steal bottles because we couldn't buy them.
Yeah.
Because we was too young or whatever. But that was probably the smallest shit that I got caught for.
So, you spoke about Roosevelt. Could you give us a memorable moment from Roosevelt?
It was a lot. I made a lot of good friends. I mean, that's why I met Ray West. I mean, met him there. Actually, was when Ghetto Fabs first started, I was one of the original members of Ghetto Fab. Like, so I mean, Roosevelt has a lot of memory. My hardcore sweetheart, everybody knew who that was. I'm not even gonna speak on her. We have my wrestling stuff. Then I started doing music and getting my name out there. At the same time, I was still kind of hard-headed out in the streets. But it was a good time in Roosevelt.
Nice. So that's where you first met Ray?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So just trying to look at that like timeline wise, G.F.G. started up. I'm not sure like when that started up or when the group kind of started, but who was the original members of G.F.G?
So I think it was me, Tyree, Martin. Was Josh?
Jake.
I remember Jake. I think that pretty much wraps up the original squad. Like, it was small. Like, it wasn't nothing big or anything like that. It was just
So it was
some kids in high school with an idea.
It was put together around 2000, I'd say between 2000 and 2002. It's just friends that rap together and freestyle together. And it was originally Ghetto Fab Records.
Yep.
And then it graduated into G.F.G. Records. But definitely one of the first members.
Yep.
That's dope. Just learning myself, that's why I'm asking, you know what I mean? Because I don't even, there's a lot of these questions I don't know the answers to. Which is rare for sometimes when I sit down here. So you talked about playing a little bit of sports. Was there anything outside of wrestling? Did you play any football or anything?
Oh yeah, I was a halfback. I played football my whole life, from Little All-American to high school.
Yeah.
Played football.
What little All-American teams?
Shit, I was on North down here. My dad was actually the coach for North. So I played for my dad when I was Pop Warner type shit.
That's dope. Wow. How'd that go? I know sometimes having a parent for a coach can be tough.
Yeah, it was.
Both ways.
Always have to be the best. Always got to be the best. There's always, you got to try to be the best. Especially you're the coach's kid. He's harder on you than he is any other kid because you're a representation of him.
Talk it. I know that stuff goes through. I got a daughter that's in sports, and I love being a fan because I don't have, you know what I mean? We don't butt heads that way. She just asks questions after the game, and she's like, and I just try to give her little tips and point her in the right direction and let her know, you know what I mean? Especially, too, when it comes to coaching, when it comes to kids, if you're on that third party, you're on the outside, you know what I mean? You got to know when to address things and know when to let the coach be the coach,
Right.
You can't be stepping in on toes like that. You ain't gonna never get the respect of that kid. I suppose a little bit of a change up here, but you were stabbed in the chest as a teenager in Des Moines, causing a collapsed lung. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so it was crazy. Like I said, I grew up in Chicago in here, and you would think growing up in Chicago, that's what would happen. I mean, I got shot at and stuff in Chicago, but came down here. It was actually me and some friends were just playing some basketball. It was over on 31st, and we was walking up to the come and go that was on 31st and University, and this Mexican dude jumped out the car. I swear it was like 7 of them in one car. Pulled up, tried to rob us. I was cocky. I'm like, I'm not getting my shit, not getting my money. And one of my guys got hit with a gun. We end up brawling. I get stabbed. I didn't feel it at first. All it felt like was like a little poke. Then I just started losing my breath or whatever and looked down. I had a white shirt like this, just soaked in blood. So yeah, it was an experience.
That's crazy. So how long did that take to recover from? I mean,
actually I went to the hospital, and at that time I wasn't talking to my dad. So when my dad came up to the hospital, I didn't want to talk to him. I just wanted to check myself out, but I was underage, so I couldn't. And the hospital was like, I don't think it's a good idea. So I ended up having my mom. My mom came down from Chicago to come grab me and check me out the hospital and took me back to Chicago that day.
that's crazy.
Yep.
That's wild. Yeah, people talk about how bad the streets are in Chicago and how bad everything is. Shit can happen anywhere.
It doesn't matter where you're from, it's where
matter
you
where
at.
you're
Like,
from.
period.
There's hoods and there's people in the struggle that want what the fuck you got.
Exactly.
Man. Growing up in Chicago, Des Moines, what kind of role did gang activity play in your life?
I'm not part of a gang. I'm not part of a gang. Crips and Bloods and all that, that's a gang. Growing up, I did levitate towards the organization to better, how can I put this, I got brothers. I got brothers that want the same goal as me, and we all get together and try to make each of us better and greater in your own way. So that's gang life. I never really was in a gang life, but I have been in an organization for some time.
How about first time you got high?
Phew, shit. Oh man, that was bad. It was in Chicago. I was actually I was going to Wilkins Middle School. I started late, but yeah, I smoked with my guy Dean, and it was bad. We went to the store.
How'd y'all smoke it?
He had a bong. It was the first time doing a bong rip. I didn't even know what I was doing. They had to talk me through it. Like you got to hold this, you just suck, and then you pull this, and I'm like, okay. And then it worked out, but then we went to the store. I had the munchies like a motherfucker. I'm walking around the store just play. I know everybody can tell I'm high as shit. I'm looking for chips and shit. I just came up to the register with like chips and candy and pop. It was just all kind of shit there.
Just a stoner.
Yeah,
killer.
just high as out of my way. I didn't know what I wanted to eat, but I knew I wanted something.
You want a little bit of everything.
Everything looked good.
Oh man. So, what about the first time being drunk?
Who? The very first time being drunk? Shit, I drink. I'm a drinker. Like, motherfuckers that know me know I drink. So, the very first time I drank was probably at a party when we was at, down here in Des Moines, Roosevelt party. Got fucked up with, my sister at the time. So, yeah, it was
Who's your sister?
Autumn. It's not my real sister, but
Shout out
shout
Autumn Griswold.
out Autumn Griswold. That's been my roadie since day one.
You ever spend time in prison or jail?
Yeah, I did both. I did 5 years in prison and multiple months and years if you add it all up in the county.
What is one thing you learned from prison?
Be smarter. No, I'm just playing. No, it's just, I mean, little shit don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, before I went to prison, little shit, I'd explode. Like, I had a temper. Like, I was ready to go whenever, however, do whatever. After prison, it's like, little shit don't bother me no more. You know what I'm saying? You can say whatever you want to say as long as you ain't putting your hands on me or fucking with my kids or my family. I'm going to let you breathe. Like, that's it.
Yeah, that maturity and not letting somebody else get you out your character.
Exactly. Like, yeah, you can't let somebody else control your emotions.
Yeah. What about your first car?
It's an 84 Bonneville. Big body.
What color?
Brown. Missed that bitch. I had the system in and everything.
How'd you get it?
I bought it.
Remember how much?
I don't remember the exact amount, but it was not that much. It was like best cleanest car, but it got me from point A to point B, and it was mine.
Did you
know
put
what
the
I'm saying?
system in it and everything?
Yeah, I put sound system in that bitch, all that.
Nice.
Nigga, what you have in it?
I only had 212s.
There you go.
212s. Yep.
What kind of rappers did you listen to in high school?
Eminem. Eminem is probably my favorite rapper of all time, bro.
Yeah.
Eminem, Busta Rhymes, shit. Even growing up, LL Cool J. Like, a lot of people forget that LL Cool J actually does this for real.
Absolutely.
So, like, yeah.
Yeah, he's lyricist.
Yeah.
A real lyricist. People always cut him because he was an actor and shit.
Yeah.
How many kids do you have?
3. I got 3 kids.
Talk about a proud father moment for each one of your kids.
Just recently, my daughter is second in state. She's 9. She just turned 9 August 2nd. But yeah, during this last wrestling season, she took second in state. My son would have took first, but he had some disciplinary actions where he was left out of the tournament just to show him like that's not okay. But yeah, my daughter, second in state in wrestling. My youngest son is a beast in wrestling right now. He should be first, but I took him out.
You want to give him a shout out by name?
Armani and Talia, Daddy loves you. Junior, Daddy loves you.
What's the first ever CD you purchased?
Whew. I still remember mixtapes, like making the tapes, like trying to catch it on the radio. You press
Hell yeah.
record and play at the same time, trying to
Talk that
catch
shit,
songs
bro.
off of the
That was
radio.
me. That was me, man.
So I mean, first CD I buy, shit, I don't even know, but like, I used to just be on my radio, play, record, whatever song.
What's one of the earliest memories of a CD that you had? Maybe not the first one you had, but one you remember having and playing.
The Eminem.
Which one?
It was the Marshall Mathers LP.
Okay.
Marshall Mathers LP. Yeah.
Dope album. What about first concert you ever attended?
Tech N9ne.
When, where?
It was. I don't really do concerts if I'm not performing at them, but I ended up going to Tech N9ne probably, I want to say like eight years ago. It was in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I stayed out there. That show was, he puts on a show.
Yeah, I heard Tech's fire, man. Especially like his live production and everything he puts into it.
Yeah, it was definitely a movie.
They say that he took inspiration from Slipknot with his live performances, and that he always wanted to emulate him.
I've never seen Slipknot live. Like,
yeah, Slipknot's a big production. They're giant. This is a big production on stage. You know what I mean? It's always, they always got like they always have some wild stage antics going on.
Yeah, well, I know like Tech, he had one where it's like two big screens and both of them, like one's angel, one's devil, and it was like in unison. In unison and all that shit. It was live.
Yeah, you just standing out there performing. It's a whole show, man. What about first time recording in a studio?
I think that was with Tyree and them in Ghetto Fab. That's back in high school. After school, Tyree would have like this little laptop and a mic. We would just go over there and sit down and just be freestyle, put on a beat like the what is that? Doom.
Rock the mic.
Yeah. Grinding. Yeah, we used to I sucked back then, but we had fun. I remember, I don't even know why I remember this, but it's like I was like, bitch, scream. And then just went off with that. I'm like, that shit was so stupid. It was so dumb, but we had fun.
Man.
That's what are or who are some of the local musical influences?
Ooh. Local for here?
Yeah.
I like Trip Sheldon. If you guys don't know who that is, I like his wordplay, his lyricism. I'm hearing a lot about Smooth G. I mean, Joey Ashby, Damon, like those are some of the people that I like back down here and what they do for Des Moines.
You talk about working on Time's Up with Ray West and Jonas?
Oh, yeah. I didn't want to do it. I was telling myself I was in retirement. My brother Jonas hit me up. He's like, man, Tyree wants to do a song with us because me and him have never featured on a track together. Even though we've known each other for years, never been on the same track. So sent me the track, open verse. I was like, okay. Knocked it out, came over here, recorded it. It was good. It was good. I like the song. I like it.
Time's Up, streaming now on all platforms off of G.F.G Radio Volume 1. Run them numbers up, boy.
And we'll be back with episode 2. Sure.
West YouTube, this your boy Big Ray West. You tuned in to G.F.G TV.